Hello friends, this is Om Prakash Samantray, Assistant Professor in Computer Science and Engineering. We are discussing database management systems, the third unit consisting of concepts related to structured query language. SQL stands for Structured Query Language. This language is used to access and manipulate database. You can also create the database using SQL. So this SQL is not case sensitive. That is, either you can use the uppercase or lowercase. And generally, the keywords used in SQL are written in uppercase. But if you write in lowercase also, these keywords will get executed. So either you can write the SQL statements in a single line or in multiple lines without affecting the meaning. It can process a single record as well as a set of records at a time. And you can perform most of the actions in a database using the SQL statements. SQL is a non-procedural language because we are not going to write any procedure, and we are specifying only uh, what data are required rather than how to retrieve those data. SQL commands are classified into four different groups: GDL, DML, DCL, and TCL. Data definition language: create, alter, drop, truncate. These are called as DDL statements. Select, insert, update, delete. These are DML statements. Grant and revoke are known as DCL. Commit, rollback, save point are known as transaction control language. You can see the syntax of create table. So to create a table, first you need to use the keyword create table and give the table name here, that is user defined name. In the example you can see create table student is the name of the table that is specified by the user. Then you have to specify the name of the columns, because a student can have a serial number, a roll number, or a student number or roll number, student name, the department number. These are the columns of the student table. So the columns corresponding data types, and if any constraints are there, you can specify here. This is the column level constraint. The constraint which is written against the column name is called as your column level constraint. And at the end of the create table statement, if you are mentioning some constraint list, that is called as your table level constraint. So there are two types of constraints. You will come to know about these constraints later. If you see the example, primary key is written here, that is the primary key constraint, which will not accept null value and which will accept only distinct or unique values. So student number is the primary key of the student table. Student name, no constraint is specified here. That means it can accept duplicate values and it can also accept null values. If you want to make it not null, then simply write not null here, not space null. In the third statement, in the fourth statement of the example, you can see D number is the foreign key of the student table. So if it is a foreign key, then D number must be there in the department table with the same data type. Then only you can use it as a foreign key. So department number must be there in the department table as a primary key. Then only you can use this D number as a foreign key in the student table. So first you have to create the department table before creating the student. Then only this will be successfully executed. So D number int, I am repeating, the D number data type is int here, which must be same as the data type of D number in the department table. Then only this foreign key will will be created successfully. The D number is of type integer, which refers to the department table. So simply you can write like this. If the name of the primary key of department table is also DNO, D number, then you can write like this. If the primary key of department table is containing some other name, let's say DNUMBER, in that case you need to specify the name of that primary key attribute here within parenthesis. Alter is another detailed statement. The syntax is alter table name. Either you can use any of these three uh, commands: add, modify, drop. These are the three options. Column name, data type. If you want to add a column, you can use add column name. If you want to modify a column, so you can simply write modify the column name. If you want to drop, completely remove the column, you can write drop column name. You can see examples of these alter statements. In the first example, alter table student add address. So in the previous example, there is no column called as address. So here we are adding a new column address with the data type varchar2. Similarly, if you write alter table student modify s name varchar2 15. Previously, while creating the table s name, the data type is varchar2 size is 10, but here varchar2 size is 15. So you are changing the size using the modify option. Similarly, if you want to delete or completely remove any column, so you can use this alter table student or drop address, means the column address will be completely removed from the student table. So what are the different queries used in SQL? List all the employee details, list the department details, list out the salary grade. Salary grade is the table name. So these are the using select statements you can do all these things. Simple queries. There are some complex queries also. We'll discuss that in our forthcoming videos. Operators used in SQL. Arithmetic operator, plus, minus, multiplication, division. So these arithmetic operators are used much in the same way as they are used in some other programming languages. Simply you can write select plus 3 from dual. So dual is a default table in SQL. So dual has only one row and one column, because you cannot extract any value without using any table. That's why Dbms has a default table which can be used to calculate different arithmetic operations. So select plus 3. So in this case, plus is the unary plus. Select minus 4 from dual. Minus is the unary minus. If you write select salary divided by 10 from EMP. So EMP is the table. Salary is a column in the employee table. So if you write select salary divided by 10, it will display all the salaries divided by 10 values. Or in this example, select employee number, employee name, salary, comma, 12 into salary plus 100, means 100 is added to the yearly salary. 12 into salary plus 10. So these two statements are will give you the different values, because the parenthesis is used here. So all the precedences, associativity, all the rules are applicable here also, right? Concatenation operator. This pipe symbol is used to concatenate uh, two messages or two values. If you write select name is written in a single quote, concatenation operator, e name from EMP. E name is the name of the column from the employee table. So select name is the string which is concatenated to the value of e name. So it will simply display select name is Smith. Another row, name is Rakesh, name is Rajesh, name is Rohit. If they are the employees, then the name is string will be concatenated with the value of the ename attribute. Comparison operator. So usually comparison operator is used in a where condition, where clause. The where clause is used with select statement, where select is your DML operation, data manipulation language operation. So along with the select statement, we use where clause to specify the conditions, and in the conditions you can use the comparison operators. Or while using the aggregate functions and group by, you can also use having clause to represent a condition. So equal to sign is a comparison operator, or having clause in group by is also a comparison operator. So equals to, not equals to, less than, greater than, all these are less than, equals to, greater than, equals to. These are known as your comparison operator, and these are used in your where clause. Simply you can see here, select ename from employee where salary equals to 1500. So salary value is compared against 1500. So comparison operator. In this case, it is not equals to. Salary greater than 3000. Min price less than 30. So this is the column name, less than 30 value, right? So in this using following these syntaxes, you can execute these SQL statements. You can pause this video and have a look on all these examples. Apart from those regular comparison operators, there are some other SQL comparison operators like in, any, not in, all, between, not between, exists, like, not like. Right. In is used to compare the value of a column with a number of values. If you want to find out the details of employee whose ename is either Smith or Ward, this is similar to the OR operator. In that case, you have to use select star from EMP where ename in Smith Ward. So if ename is either Smith or Ward, the employee details will be displayed. Right. In this case, any or some, if any of the values, if any of the values are equal to the location, then the details of the department will be displayed here. Some of the values. It compares a value to each value in a list of return in a list or returned by a query. So it must be preceded by any of the comparison operators. So some, you have to use any of the comparison operators before the sum operator. Right. Similarly, opposite of in operator is not in. All is the opposite of sum. Between, between is equivalent to your and operator. Like in is equivalent to your or, between is equivalent to and. If you want to find out the details of employees whose salary is between 3000 and 5000, in that case you can use select ename job from EMP where salary between 3000 and 5000. Opposite of between is not between, so simply you can write not between. So excluding that range, other values will be displayed. Exists, it returns true if a subquery returns at least one row. If you write exist, usually it is used in subqueries. Exists a subquery, exist followed by a subquery. If the subquery returns at least one row, then this exist will return the true value. Usually it is used in subqueries. Like and not like, it is used to compare string values. If I want to find out the details of employees whose name whose e-name is Smith, or whose e-name starts with S. In that case, you use the like operator. Opposite of the like operator is not like. Like, so these are certain examples. You can simply uh, pause the video, or you can download this PPT from the description and try to solve these questions. Logical operators, and or not. Usually and or, these are used to combine more than one conditions. Select star from employee where job is equals to clerk and department number equals to 10. When both the conditions are true, then only it will return the rows where both the conditions are true. In case of or, if any of these two conditions is true, the corresponding row will be returned by the statement. So the use of and or is much similar to the general use of and or in any of the programming languages. Not is the negation. If it is true, returns false. If it is false, returns true. If it is unknown, it remains unknown. So if you want to find out the opposite of anything, you need to use this not operator, right? SQL functions. So SQL functions, there are so many different types of SQL functions, like string functions, date functions, okay, numeric functions. A string function, there are lower, upper, init cap, concat, substring, length, in string. There are so many different string functions are there. Lower is used to convert the string into lowercase letters. Upper is used to convert the string into uppercase. Init cap is used to convert the string with initial capital letter. You can use the syntax and example is given here. Select lower, and the string within single quote is supplied as argument. So lower, upper, and init cap, they take one argument, a string as the argument. You can also supply column as the argument. Concat takes two arguments, two strings as arguments. So it concatenates, combines those two strings, and the strings must be supplied using single quotes. Substring returns a specified character from the uh, character value starting at character position. So m is the position, n is the length of the length, right? If n is omitted, all the characters up to the end will be displayed. So this is the original string. M is the position and how many characters you want. In the example, if string string is the string, from position 1 you need 3 characters. So from position 1, s is the position 1, so str, these are the 3 characters you want. If you omit 3, entire string will be displayed here starting from position 1. Length is the function which takes only one argument and returns the number of characters in the string. So if you supply a 3 characters, then the length will be 3 here. See, to execute all these queries, we are using a table called as dual. As I have already told you, dual is the default table in SQL, which has only one row and one column, right? Okay. In string, which returns the numeric position of a character in a string. If you want to know the position of a particular character, then you have to use in string. So it takes two arguments, the name of the column or a string and the character you want to search. See, both these are of string type. So a string R, the position of R here is 3, so the output is 3. L pad, which pads the character in the left side. So if uh, you supply ename lpad ename comma 1 sorry 10, 10 is the total size and dollar symbol is here. Any character you can pass, any character here. If the length of ename is less than 10, then the left side vacant positions will be padded with this symbol. You can also use a asterisk, you can also use a space, you can use a plus symbol, or any other character you can use. The left side will be padded. In this case Adam consisting of 4 characters, but the total length is 10 here, so remaining 6 vacant positions are padded with dollar symbol. Similarly, rpad, which pads the same character into right side, this is the opposite of lpad. Ltrim and rtrim. Ltrim means left trim, which trims or removes the left side blank spaces, and if any blank space is there in the right side, rtrim can be used to remove those blank spaces. Similarly, other functions of SQL are date functions. Months between takes 2 arguments, which calculates how many months are there in those 2 arguments. Arguments must be of date types. If you write select months between system date comma hire date, it will calculate how many months are there between system date and hire date. System date means the system date of your system, hire date of the employee. If you want to calculate the experience in months, you can use months underscore between. You have to supply 2 arguments, this date comma hire date. Add months, it also takes 2 arguments, date comma n is the number of months, so that is the numeric value, and date is the data type. So if you want to add n number of months to a particular date, then you can use this add underscore month. Next day, it takes 2 parameters, one is of date type, one is of character type. So if you supply the sys date here and Sunday here, it will give you the next day when the Sunday will come, or next date of the month which falls on the next Sunday. So sys date and the date of the next Sunday will be displayed here. In this example, it shows 24th July because before to this 24th July we have executed this query and shown the output. So if you today's date is 12th, today is Sunday. So if I execute this today, then it will show you the next Sunday's date. Last day is another function which takes only 1 argument of date type. It gives you the last day of the month, which is supplied in the parameter. If you find out the last day of sys date, now what is the last day of today? Today's date is 12th April. So last day of April is 30th April 2020. That will be the last day. Round function takes 2 arguments, date and some format, in which format you want to display. So round sys date comma year is the format here. Okay, so you can display uh, which can it is rounded to the unit specified by the format model. So if you want to round the date to a particular format, then you need to use this. So if the sys date is today's date, then it will be rounded to the uh, nearest approximate value. Today is April, so definitely that will be rounded to 1st January 2020, because we are in the first half of the year. That's why it will be 1st January 2020. If the date is the sys date is more than June, after June, July, August, September, then it will go to the next year. It will show you the 1st January 2021, right? Truncate, which returns the date with time portion of the day, truncated to the unit specified by the format. Truncates means it omits, uh, uh, it will, the format model FMT will be omitted. The date is rounded to the nearest day, right? So sys date comma year, these two are supplied here to the truncate. So if the sys date is 5th July 16, then again it is the truncated means it will go to the beginning value. What is the previous value? 1st January 16. If I give today's date 12th April 2020, it will give you 1st January 2020. Even if it is 5th July 2020, it will give you the 1st January 2020. So every time it will come to your the first day of the year. That is the use of the truncate function. Numeric functions: absolute, sine, mod, floor, ceiling, power, round, square root. These are the numeric functions. ABS gives the absolute value, means even if you supply the negative value, it will give you the positive value. Sine will return whether it is a positive or a negative, or it is zero. Mod, it returns the remainder of x divided by y. So you have to supply two values here. Floor of x, the floor value means the lower value of x. Ceil of x means the higher value of x. Power x comma y, x to the power y will be calculated and returned. Round of x returns the value of x rounded to the nearest integer. If it is more than half, it goes to the higher value. If it is less than the half, it goes to the lower value. And square root of x, which gives you the square root value of x. So in the next video, we'll discuss some other topics like nested queries, correlated nested queries, and set operations, and all these operations. For this video, uh, this is enough. Thank you very much.